Hurricane Idalia has intensified into a catastrophic hurricane with winds near 130 miles per hour and has made landfall in the Big Bend area this morning. We send our thoughts and prayers to all of our colleagues and friends and neighbors up in this area. Pinellas County was spared by a direct hit. However, we did start experiencing dangerous storm surge and flooding impacts overnight. This flooding is expected to continue into this afternoon. High tides around the county will be starting at around 11:15 to about 4 p.m. The combination of our full moon that we have and the winds that will continue to push water onshore will cause ongoing flooding throughout the day. We are asking people to stay off of the roads until we can make an all-clear announcement later today. You may be tempted to go outside once the winds start to subside, but we do expect continued flooding and storm surge in our low-lying and coastal areas, at least through midday today when we'll have a higher peak, and then through later this afternoon. So please wait for our message for you to go out and start moving around. This morning, we're working very closely with partners to prioritize life safety with rescues and assisting anyone who needs to evacuate from flooded areas. As soon as it is safe to do so, our public works crews will head out to clear the roads and will conduct damage assessments and repair any traffic signals that are down. The sheriff will talk about bridge closures, and right now we have 55 active road closures throughout the county. Duke is reporting power outages of over 20,000 people. They have over 1,000 crews out here that will be working on it as soon as it's safe for them to go out. If you must go out for life safety reasons, do not drive in floodwaters. Even if they look shallow, they may be deeper than you think they are. Do not walk in floodwaters. Those waters may be full of hazards like bacteria, wildlife, debris, and if there's a down power line in the water, you could get electrocuted. We've seen evidence that people took this storm seriously. We had over 1,800 people in our 10 shelters last night, about 180 special needs people. We will continue to keep these shelters open for now. We know that we have some people that are leaving flooded areas and they're moving to the shelters if they don't have friends or family to stay with. If you do need to leave those areas, please try to stay with friends or family. And we're working to open a step-down shelter so we can decompress schools. We'll be working with schools to get them open as soon as possible. That announcement will come from the superintendent when they're ready. If you are at home and you have water inundation already inside of your house, please do not touch the breakers. Please stay elevated. Do not be walking through the water. If you can reach the breaker box before water comes into your house as it starts coming in, turn those breakers off. Get out and call Duke to shut off the power at the meter. If your home or business is flooded, before you clean up or move any debris, please make sure you take pictures and inform your insurance company. List all the damages and losses that you have. It's helpful for you to take pictures of high water that you've had in the house. If you have damages, you can report them through our Citizen Damage Reporter tool, either through our Ready Pinellas app or through disaster.pinellas.gov. We will be working with Duke Energy to assess the power of our special needs clients that are in our shelters, and we're actively calling down all of our residential health care facilities to ensure that they and all of their clients are safe. With that, I'll turn it over to the sheriff.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. So the problem we have is this, is that the storm has passed us. The storm is north. It made landfall. And it's counterintuitive and counter to what everybody is seeing out there now. What everybody's seeing out there now is some rain and some wind, and that is going to dissipate by mid-morning as the projections go. We're going to see some bands. We're going to see a little rainfall, but the majority of that. So as the storm has moved away from us, what's happened and what is happening is the situation with the water is actually getting worse. And the reason why it's getting worse is because of the storm surge and where we are in relationship to the storm. So where we are in relationship to the storm is on the east side of the storm, which is called the dirty side of the storm, which is the problematic side as water goes. So as it made landfall, we're going to see the greatest impact with storm surge about 2 hours after it made landfall. And the problem there is that it coincides with a high tide. So we're going to see some peak water, especially in the Clearwater Beach area, the Gulf beaches, and then moving south. About 11:15 is where we're going to see peak, and that's going to stick around for probably about 4 or 5 hours. So the problem in Pinellas County is going to be, and we're already seeing it, is the Gulf beaches from about now until 3 or 4 this afternoon. So we had to, and I've been out there personally, and I can tell you it's not a good situation on the Gulf beaches. We're going to have to shut down, and we have shut down and keep shut down, access to all of the barrier islands, to the Gulf beaches, from Dunedin Causeway all the way down to the Pinellas Bayway. So if people are out on the beaches and you leave the beach, you're not getting back out until we're able to reopen it. This is not a reentry. This is a closure of the beaches. Anybody that is not on the beaches will not be able to get out there. And the west side of the county is what is significantly impacted. So if you're on the east side of the county, please don't go to the west side of the county because it's not limited to just the Gulf beaches. We're also seeing problems along alternate 19. We've got alternate 19 closed in the Clearwater and Dunedin area from Sunset Point Road all the way up to Dunedin Marina. We've got A19 closed in portions of Dunedin along Bayshore Boulevard. And A19 is also closed at Klosterman Road in Tarpon Springs because of the flooding we're seeing. And again, I want to stress this, is that we haven't seen the worst of it. The estimates are based upon the storm surge and based upon the high tide that we're going to see 4 to 6 feet of water. That's a significant amount of water. The sand is also coming up onto the roadway. And again, as I said, I was out there personally and had to turn around because you can't get through the roads. They're impassable out there on Gulf Boulevard with the sand and the water. So we really need everyone to, as Kathy said, is to stay away from the roads, especially on the west side of the county. We will work diligently to get the roads back open as soon as we can, but we're not going to be able to do that until the water clears. And again, we don't anticipate that until probably 3 or 4 this afternoon. Now, the other side, which is the bay side, we'll start to see an increase as the Gulf side starts to dissipate. So we're going to see an increase in the high tide on the bay side is later this afternoon going into this evening. So it shouldn't be as bad because we'll see the tide effect, but the surge effect should be a little bit less. And so what that means is that in Mobley Bay, Oldsmar, Safety Harbor, Shore Acres, the area around the Bayside Bridge, all of that area is you're going to see high water. It'll probably be a few feet, but it won't be as bad as it was on the west side, the Gulf side, but it, again, is going to be something we have to watch and be careful of. There's a lot of water rescues that are going on. People are in their homes. They are getting water intrusion. If somebody is in a situation where you're in your home and you need help, call 911. We have teams set up with high water rescue vehicles, shallow water boats, a combination of law enforcement, fire, EMS, and we actually have some National Guard personnel that have deployed at 7 sites throughout the county to do those rescues. So if somebody needs help, call 911. We'll get you out and get you to a place of safety. But what's really important, I keep saying it, but we really need people to help us with this, is don't try and get out to the beaches and stay away from the west side of the county. And we'll get these roads back open as soon as we can. So that's the situation that we're in right now, and we'll keep everyone updated. We appreciate everyone's cooperation. You have any questions?
Sure. Do you see anyone are you getting reports from residents trying to leave the beaches, or has that not been happening?
Some are, some are, and again, as they're coming off, they won't be able to get back on. There's been reports of rescues in a few places, especially down in the Madeira Beach area, up in Tarpon, a couple in the Palm Harbor area, where we are getting people off. And when we're getting them out of the houses, we're getting them off the beaches. So a few of those. So it's. We are getting some calls, and we do see some people that are leaving.
And when did the roadways close?
So we closed at about 6 o'clock this morning. We got everything shut down. It took a few minutes once we saw the impact of it. So we shut everything down from that area of Dunedin Causeway south to the Pinellas Bayway as of about 6 this morning. The other roadways, and most people are aware, they're probably seeing the media reports, but it's worth just reiterating, is Courtney Campbell Causeway, Howard Franklin Bridge, Sunshine Skyway have closures. The Gandy's open, and Hillsborough Avenue through Oldsmar, Tampa Road is still open. We're monitoring that for traffic. and we'll do everything we can to keep the traffic flowing so that people can get back and forth as they need to. But again, later this afternoon, we'll have to see what happens, especially in that upper Tampa Bay area, Oldsmar area, what happens with the water. Don't anticipate it's going to be a problem, but we'll keep an eye on it.
And any damage reports been just yet, or?
Yeah, I mean, there's damage and there's water intrusion going into mainly water. There's been wind, but it's mainly water. There was water intrusion, I can tell you, into businesses, certainly residences. I saw it personally out there on the beaches this morning, where some of the hotels, the water was going underneath the front door up there, and it's going to get worse. And this is where it's a concern, because right now is not the worst of it. The worst of it, and where we're going to see the maximum water, is after 11 o'clock this morning, and that maximum water is going to be sustained until about 3 o'clock this afternoon. And in some areas, and by the best estimates, what they see now is actually going to be double what it is now. So again, it's not what they're seeing up in Taylor County and Levy County and some of those places, thank goodness, and so of course we feel for them, but it's still going to be significant, it's going to be impactful. Again, to the point where people won't be able to move around, they can't drive. All right, well, thank everybody for helping us with this. We'll keep everyone updated, and we'll get back with any more information as needed.